How to deal with an emotionally distant husband. Let's face it, life is hard, and having a partner who has your back and is in this fight with you is incredibly rewarding, but for the wife with an emotionally distant or broken husband, that's just not reality. So in this video, we're diving deep into all the emotionally distant husband signs in great detail. Once you know the signs, you can decide if that applies to your husband. Then we'll walk through some crucial steps to try and fix your broken marriage. If you want practical strategies to dramatically improve your marriage, check out our free ebook in the description below. 10 Worst Signs Your Husband is Emotionally Unavailable. Number 1. Indifference. An emotionally distant husband may often seem indifferent or indecisive about decisions, vacation destinations, conflict resolution, or even where to eat dinner. At the end of the day, the big problem with his indifference is the burden it puts on you to be the functioning adult in the relationship. It also puts undue pressure, as if things don't go as planned, the fault falls to you alone. Number 2. All flirt and no action. One of the big signs is when a man is overly flirtatious. I know that doesn't sound right, but in my experience, emotionally distant or damaged people often try and mask the underlying pain with a bold personality. While that doesn't always translate into being extra flirty, it certainly can, when they are extra flirty, but it never leads to real emotional intimacy or quality time. That's a clear sign. Number 3. The dreaded silent treatment. The silent treatment is a real relationship killer. It is not, however, the same thing as just one person needing some space to cool down. The silent treatment is intentionally manipulative and designed to gain control over the other spouse. Essentially, they put themselves the driver's seat of when or even if you get to share your feelings about the conflict. We talk a lot about this issue and so much more in this free ebook, The Marriage Repair Handbook. We hope you will pick up a copy for yourself. Number 4. Unwilling to talk about damage from his past. We all have a past. Some of us, of course, have a more damaged past than others, but even something as commonplace as a divorce when your husband was a young child can have devastating effects. If every time you bring up something from his past he clamps down like a clamshell protecting a pearl, that's a clear sign, so getting to the root of the issue is the big first step. Number 5. He takes more than he gives. Emotional attachment can be really uncomfortable for a man who sees vulnerability as a gateway to getting hurt. Deep emotions are scary due to something in his past, so that trauma can create an avoidant attachment style. One of the big downsides of that is it may often feel like you give and get nothing in return. As you give and get little in return, the net effect is you'll feel exhausted, emotionally drained, and the love you once felt for him will be replaced by apathy. But serious relationships need at least a certain amount of real connection for the relationship to work. Number 6. Inflexible on his routine. The emotionally distant husband is essentially hiding from their feelings or emotions. Often, it's because of some type of emotional trauma they experienced as a child. One of the effects of that is that now in adulthood, they seek to control everyone and everything, since whatever the underlying issue is made them feel helpless and out of control. So if this is a red flag you're seeing, don't be surprised if you find him completely inflexible on what he does, where he goes, and maybe even what he thinks you should be doing. If you want practical strategies to dramatically improve your marriage, check out our free ebook in the description below. Number 7. He's filled with excuses and defensiveness. When people are control freaks and seek to control everything and everyone around them, they often also have trouble admitting mistakes. Thus, it's not uncommon for emotionally distant husbands to come up with a lot of excuses instead of taking true ownership of something they did. When pressed about their actions, behavior, and mistakes, they also tend to get overly defensive. Don't get me wrong, no one likes apologizing when they screw up, but one of the key signs of unavailable men is when nothing is ever their fault and often he'll claim it's yours. Number 8, no matter how much you get from him you feel empty. When we're with a spouse that gives us little to no true emotional connection, we sometimes find ourselves feeling like a man dying of thirst in the desert, and when does do something for you, like buy you flowers, treat you to a surprise dinner, or some other gesture, it can still feel really empty. The reason is that those types of things, while thoughtful, don't require an emotional investment. Thus, since you're already starved for emotional connectedness, it has the effect of giving that dying man a thimbleful of water and expecting it to quench his thirst. Number 9, he lies to you. If someone is emotionally shut off from you, then lying about things to you is no big deal. It's not that he doesn't care for you, but the defensive wall is built up so high, it becomes easy to justify the lie and in his head, make it seem like it doesn't matter. A truly emotionally whole man who lies is literally torn apart out of feelings of guilt over the lie, so emotional distance almost always points to a sort of indifference towards you or his own misbehavior. 10. You have no idea what he is thinking. We all crave an emotional connection with our spouse. After all, this person should be the one we confide in the most, with whom we share our most personal thoughts, and who we trust the most, but for the wife of an emotionally disconnected husband, that connection just isn't there or barely there. As a result, while he most likely makes small talk, you often have no idea what he's really feeling inside or what the details are of the things he's doing or working on. If you want practical strategies to dramatically improve your marriage, check out our free ebook in the description below.